Hey guys, welcome to Uberclux. My name is Daniel Phillips and welcome to the second video in the Call of Duty montage inspired series. Today we're going to track some of your name into the footage, because this is quite a commonly asked question on how to do it. So we're going to talk you through it. So this is going to teach you the basics of tracking. This is also, the way that I'm going about this is also going to teach you the basics of keyframing and animating, which are two essential things that you're going to need if you're going to keep on using After Effects. Once again, this is multi-mix media footage. It's just a guy. I'm going to shorten this clip out a little bit just for tracking purposes. And this is it. So before we get about any tracking and getting any names into the footage, what we're going to do first is do a little bit of animating. So I'm going to open up a new composition. 720 is fine, and I'm going to make a solid, and with this solid I'm just going to make a little line like that, and I'm going to duplicate it, Control D, move it up. I'm just going to shorten this one out like that. W on the keyboard will make it rotate. V will take it back to normal, and that's what I want it to look like, although it's a little bit big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pre-compose this to make it one solid line, so that they're not two different solids anymore, and I can just scale it down a touch. Okay. So what we're going to do now is add, I don't know, player name and Uberclux for all intents and purposes, which is my name at the moment. Uberclux, and I don't know, let's call it let's do that, and let's put them at the beginning like so. Okay, so that looks, let's move line down a little bit. So that looks exactly how I want it to at the minute. But I tell you what I'm going to do actually is move, I'm going to delete that from engineer, put it there, and move it to this side, because I want to and because I can. And what's good about this is you can change the colours quite simply. I can just effect, I can either change it over here, or I can do effect, generate and fill, and that'll do exactly the same. At the moment, just for the tutorial's sake, I am going to leave it black. So I'm going to turn the eyes off for the writing at the minute, and I'm just going to work on line. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete that, sorry. I'm going to select the layer first and make sure this bounding box here goes over it all. And as you can see, it's created a mask. I'm going to change this to subtract. So basically what I've done is I've wiped the layer out, but that's not like exactly what we want. So in the mask properties, I can open the mask path. I can click that keyframe there, and what that does is it makes an animation keyframe. I can move it along in the timeline, and what I want to do is just move these two lines. So highlight these two lines and move it across in time. Okay, now what that's done is it's created an animation for this to just appear on like so. Okay, easy peasy. So what I'm going to do is do exactly the same for Uberclux and player name. So player name first, I'm going to surround it with a bounding box like so. In the mask properties, once again, I'm going to hit mask path, move that forward a couple of frames, and then move these up. As you can see, it's doing exactly the same thing. Okay, Uberclux next. One more time. So we want to do this. And this is the very basics of animating anything in After Effects using keyframes. So I'm going to use the keyframe, move it forward a little bit, and once again I can do the same thing, by highlighting these 2 points and dragging it down. Okay, now what I want to do is just move these over so that they match up. So that starts there and ends there. Yeah. And just one different way we're going to do this now is the engineer. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to put a mask right here. Put it to a subtract mask. Okay. And instead of moving the mask, I'm going to actually move the position of the engineer right in. So I can just move this over, and I can move this mask, the mask path, to be there, and then the mask path to be there. So there we go. Let's turn this off and give it a RAM preview. Let's see what it looks like. And that's the basics of animation. Now I would play with this a little bit more if I had the time, but I don't. So that's going to be it. I'm going to actually go about tracking this now. And we're going to hit Window, Tracker, and hit Subbase to be my actual tracking, my tracking layer. Hit Subbase and then Track Motion. And what that does is it gives me a point that I can move, and I know that this is a really good track point, so I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to hit track forward, and then I'm going to pause the video while this happens, because it does take some time. So I'll catch you back in a couple of seconds. Okay, so the track has finished, and it looks like a really good solid track on his hand there. So what are we going to do now? We're going to have to put that tracking data into something like a holder so that we can use it to attach things to it. So I'm going to go Layer, New, and Null Object. And what this null object does is it'll hold all the data, but it won't show up in the render, which is really cool. So I'm going to call this Tracking Data. And then just to make sure that it's going to be applied to the right thing, I'm applying the motion to Layer, Tracking Data. Okay, apply on the X and Y. And there we go. That tracking looks pretty solid. So that little comp that we made earlier with the animations in, we're going to pull that into this comp now and find where it starts to animate, which is there. We're going to scale it down. I know I'm going to have to scale it down a little bit. So let's maybe even make it come off his knuckle. Let's see what it looks like at the minute. Okay, so what I need to do is I just need to shorten this animation out a little bit, because it's too long. So I'm just going to shorten it out a little bit. Everything's going to happen a little bit faster in this comp now, but all the principles are exactly the same. So there we go. I don't know why that's gone over there now, but let's fix that really quickly. What I don't mind about this is the fact that if I make a mistake, you can see exactly how I rectify it. So I'm just going to put that back there. And what I'm going to do to fix the problem that I did earlier, I'm going to animate the position really quickly. So say I want the position to be there at that point. What I can do now is move this over, okay, and then pre-compose this layer to be just NG or whatever. And what happens then is I can mask out exactly like I did earlier, but this time the mask won't move. And engineer will just flow on like that, which is what I wanted to happen in the first place, but I missed just a small step, but we fixed it now. So let's have a look what happens now. engineer. Now, the last thing we want to do, what we want to do now, is track this into the footage, and this is really simple. So this is going to be called, I don't know, animation. And this little pick whip on the parent, I'm going to move that and hang, and like just had dangled it over tracking data there, and that's it. It is done. So I'm going to hit the RAM preview now, and as you can see, that is perfectly tracked into the shot, and it looks fucking good. So what we could do, if we were playing about with it, is we could change the color of this to something else. I don't know. It won't really work up against this background, but like the S-less effect, generate, fill. So I can make it black, blue. Blue? That's not blue. I can make it whatever color I want. I can make it green. I can make it yellow. Excuse me. Been drinking Coca-Cola or any other generic beverage. And we can also add stuff like effect. Effect, stylize, and glow. And we can maybe push up the intensity. As you can see, this is just me messing around now. This wouldn't suit this shot, but I can do another RAM preview, and it's tracked perfectly to his hand. And look at that. How cool is that for your montage? So basically, that's been me. That's it. That's Dan Phelps, or Daniel Phillips, for Uberclux, and we'll catch you next time on Uberclux. Please, if you like the video, hit like, because it helps us out, because we're a brand new channel, and also hit the subscribe button if you want more. Bye bye.